right, so this is part two. Um, I think this one's going to be about some of the other things that are going on. Um, if you don't know about what's going on in Japan, then um, you are either you have lost your house and are probably living out of your car or a tent and you don't have access to much news, or somebody simply hasn't told you, and I can't hold anything against you. If you are simply believing the mainstream media, um, that's your own fault. I have nothing to say about that. Um, some of the other things that are going on in the news, the the uh, Bank of America papers got released on Monday. I didn't really go and look through um, a lot of that. There's you know fraud everywhere. The banks, the whole bailout thing was such a scam, and we're just finding out more and more about that every day. Um, there's there's so much news that's going on, and it's being so overshadowed by what's happening over in Japan. And you can't just focus on that one horrible thing that's happening. You have to watch what else is going on. And I'm going to mention it right now, but I'm going to actually do another video after this and talk a little more in depth about it. But Obama, the joke of a president that we have masquerading in the Oval Office, he finally came out and said something, um, dealing with the Gifford shooting, and it was to announce gun control bill, and he does that, and then he's going to Rio in next week or whatever, and he went golfing, or he's going golfing this Saturday, and he did his March Madness NCAA picks, and um, the idiocy of this person is so far beyond the. I don't know how this guy's still alive with the crap that he's pulling. Not that I would like to see him dead, or that anything needs to happen to him or whatever, but his stupidity. How is this man still alive and walking around, much less the president of the United States? I'm sorry, but if I said and did the things that he has done, I would either be dead or in prison. Simple as that. He has lied about just about every single thing since he has been in office. He lied during his campaign. Um, as far as the hope and change goes, yeah, keep your hope, because I don't have any change, and what little I do have, you can't have, because I'm broke, and most of the United States is broke because, and I can't say it's all Obama, but um, he has continued the plan of the destruction of the United States, and if you can't see that it has been a plan that has been followed for at least the last 150 years, 100 years with the Federal Reserve, then you deserve whatever you're going to get when it comes. So, um, back to what else is going on. The commodity markets are going crazy. The Nikkei dropped. The Dow dropped. I didn't even see what oil prices were. I'm guessing that they either held steady or probably dropped, because everything is diving right now. Um, the the gold and silver prices, actually, I would like to see them maybe drop a little bit, because that just gives people a better advantage to buy them. It's opportunity for the little people, or the average people. Um, if gold, even if gold drops to 1,000, if it drops $400, it's go and buy as much as you can get a hold of, because it is going to go back up. There is no doubt in my mind, And if you study any of the analysts who are, GATA, or any of the um, uh, what is Max Kaiser call them, the gold vigilantes, the gold vigilantes. Go search go search YouTube and search Crash JP Morgan buy silver. There's thousands of videos out there. Um, I have a little bit of silver, but that's what I had from previous years. I um, have a little bit of gold because I'm a gold prospector. But as far as that goes, I'm not going to sell gold unless it's probably $8,000 to $10,000 an ounce, because for the amount of work that it takes to get it out of the ground, that's what it's worth. And for the devaluation of the Federal Reserve notes, it's got to be at least that for me to even consider to trade it for reserve notes. Um, the the scam is failing. The lies are failing. The system is crashing. The entire house of cards has collapsed. The It's like when you see the slow motion picture and you see something has fallen, but there's there's still the image of it in the air as it's coming down, because it falls faster than your eye can track it. That's an analogy. It's already hit the ground and we're still tracking it falling. That's the only reason that we can't, or most people can't, see what is really going on. Um, if you look at the real estate figures, they are horrible. I mean, we haven't had real estate figures like this probably ever. There are, uh, if you're looking to buy a house, you could probably walk into a bank and throw down $1,000 or $500 and say, look, I'm willing to pay $200 a month and I want this house. And some of these banks are going to be looking at you like, okay, here's the paperwork, sign. But the problem is they don't have the proper paperwork to sell it to you. That's what the whole thing with the mortgage fraud is. That's why they're sitting on all these houses. They don't have proper title. That's what's going to happen. Is the federal government, who has bailed out all these banks that had the bad mortgages, they bought the mortgages in order to bail out the banks. The banks had to give them something for the money. So they gave them the deeds and the titles of what they had to the mortgages. And in order to sort this out, the government is going to be taking the property in order to be able to sort out who has proper title to it. Whether they actually give it to the person who has proper title, who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that. But I think there's so many things that are going on right now that you really need to to look at everything. You need to dig. You need to listen to every single person that you can talk to. The the markets, the housing markets, the retail markets, commodity prices, milk, corn, sugar, wheat, bread. Just the other day, I went into the grocery store, and the cereal that I buy more often, I don't eat it all the time, but every once in a while I like to snack on it. So I get it's like the cheap version of Apple Jacks or whatever. It was $3.49 for 32 ounces, and I went in the space of 2 days. It went up to $4.29, but it was still on sale. It was on sale at $3.49, and it was on sale at $4.29, and it was the same size bag. So how does that work? Now, granted, I'm out in the middle of the mountains, and fuel prices are going up, so I understand that prices are going to be going up. But when you have a loaf of bread goes up 50 cents in the space of a month and a half, 2 months, maybe at most 2 months, and cereal goes up 75 cents, on from 350 to 430 in a couple of days. You know, sugar luckily hasn't gone up here. Everything is going to be going up in price, and you're going to start seeing people who don't have food doing whatever they have to do to get food. If and this is where the people and community is going to come in. You need to talk to your neighbors. You need to talk to people, friends, family, whoever. Find one or two other people and say, look, I have this stuff. Why don't we pool our food? Why don't we you know make a trip up to the bulk food place? From where I am, I'd have to go all the way to Medford. It's like a 3-hour drive. Um, but the food is half the cost. You know, you have to think about these things, and what is going to save people. And I'm not even going to go into trying to save the nation. That's going to be an entire another video that I'm going to do. In order for people to be able to save themselves, they are going to have to find friends, neighbors, some type of a support system to where, if you don't have gas in your car because, gas is $9 a gallon, that you can go to your neighbor who, maybe has some gas this week and you're going to have gas next week. And you say, look, I need a ride to go and do something and I'll help you out next week. You're going to have to think that way. And if you don't, go watch Mad Max, go watch the original Road Warrior, and that's what we're looking at. That's what is going to be happening. Um, Pray. I'm not a very religious person, but if you believe in anything, pray, because you are going to need help. You're going to need guidance. You're going to need something that you believe in to stand firm on and for, and you are going to have to do hard things. You're going to have to make hard choices, and some of them are going to be awful. You know, if if it rains and your dog gets doused in a heavy dose of radiation, you have to either figure out how to wash the dog and get the radiation out of him, which is almost impossible to get out of fur, from what I understand. It binds to the hair. Um, if you can't figure out a way to, you know, keep your dog from getting contaminated or decontaminate him once he does get contaminated, you're going to have to kill him, because otherwise he's going to kill you. I mean, you need to understand things like that, because that is the world that we're going to be living in. Because this is going to go not just to the United States, not just to Canada and Alaska. You know, it's going to eventually go everywhere. The the radioactive material from Chernobyl was flying around the world for 3 years. Um, I'm out of time on this video, so stay tuned. I'm going to do on our joke of a